It is I, Menace Snowdecker. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I am starting up a new series that I think you will all deeply enjoy. I am going to be building BeyBlades in Minecraft. So let's just go ahead and start a brand new world here. I'm currently using Bedrock. I do have Java, but that is not what I actually prefer using. Java does have some advantages over Bedrock, but I just feel more accustomed to Bedrock. That's where I've lived literally my whole life in Minecraft. It's just where I've been. Let's keep this on peaceful. Let's start this as a flat world. Let's just go ahead and title it BeyBlade Land. Land. No. Stop. Okay. And let's go ahead, make that a flat world. No, yes, show coordinates. We're definitely going to need that. Tempting, but no. Shut that off. Definitely shut that off. Just keep that one off. Yes. Respawn block 6. No. Let's keep this at 8. Yeah, that works. Multiplayer, no. I do not want anybody in here. Nobody but me. Nobody but me must be able to see what it is I'm doing in here. I make that sound like I'm up to something bad, but I promise I'm not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with building... Oh. Hi! Hello. Hey. We just... Was it a 5? Yeah, that's what it was. I haven't been on Minecraft in a good while, and this is actually my first time starting something new on here. Just random building-wise. Other than Five Nights at Minecraft, but I don't count that one. So as I was saying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to start with... What was it called again? Dran sword? I believe that's what it was called. I have a stock combo for Dran sword, but I picked different colored parts, so it's easier for me to see what it is I'm doing. Okay, let's see. I'm going to need... Definitely going to need a light blue. I'm going to build one of these every 2 weeks, give or take. And then I'll let you, the viewer, decide which one I build next. It could be continuing an upgraded version of the same Beyblade, or starting a new Beyblade entirely. And because I am a master builder in this game, literally dating back to the early days, than the first 2 years of Minecraft itself, I am not going to limit myself to the type of Beyblades I'm making. I just ask that you show me a name, a specific name all the way through, and preferably blueprints if you have them, or an image. If not, I could try finding it online. I mean, let's be honest, internet's basically a gigantic gold mine of information, so you're bound to find something. Okay, let's see. I need light blue. I'm definitely going to need... Black. Definitely black. So I'm thinking black concrete. What else am I going to need? White. White stained glass and... Actually, no. Smooth block of quartz. And I'm going to need iron for the screws. So something gray. Something gray. That works. That actually does look like the top of a screw. Or the bottom, whatever. Okay, let's see. What other colors do I need here? Okay, so I'm going to need some yellow for the mouth. I'm thinking... No, you see, That's a little bit too bland, though. Would that be fine if I use that one? I don't know. There's not enough colors, truth be told, when it comes to Minecraft. We have a whole diversity, and yet we still cannot make up our minds sometimes, because there are just certain shades that don't really look as nice as we want. And then there are some that do look as nice, but the texture does not work for us. It's always something. Bamboo's not going to cut it. Get that out of the way. I need a solid color, so I guess I'll just go with this one for now, but I do not think that's going to work for me. I'll find out here shortly. If it doesn't, I'll change it. That's fine. There's always something I can do there. I am forgetting something. Right, dark blue. That's close. That's close. I can work with that. I'm also going to need some type of metal coloring. I would prefer something extra shiny. Hi, pig. What could I use here? I'm sorry, I'm deep in thought. I really want to do this justice. I really want to do it right. It's not shiny, but it'll have to do. I could use the smooth stone, but that's not going to look as nice. And I deeply want this to look nice, like it's actually meant to be a BeyBlade, not some crappy build made by some big fat government company who just wants it to fall apart so you waste more money. Because I do not know how big this is going to be, I'm going to start with the driver, and I'm going to work my way up. So on first inspection, we have a 12-part gear here, and a circle in the center. Now, we are in Minecraft, but let's be honest, that's not going to hold me back. Also, I am missing something. No. Crap. Where? I could have sworn I had coordinates on. So coordinates. Okay, why is it not... Am I just dumb? No, I'm not dumb. I'm missing something. I do not want to get lost. Maybe video? Aha, there we go. Oh, I forgot that he was in the corner. Okay, let's just go and fix that real quick. I'm sorry. I completely forgot that I edited this the last time I was in here, and I do not remember everything I did. Okay, that's better. Now let's get started. It's going to be a little bit trippy, but let's just go and pick a spot. Where's... Wait, no. Zero's this way. I'm trying to mark where 0 is, so that way I do not get lost. I want to at least be able to see where the center line is. So I'm going to build off in this direction, just a little bit of a ways away, but not too far. So again, I do not get lost. This should be far enough. Now let's get started. Okay, so on first inspection here, we have a little bit of a space. In the very center. However, this is not going to hold a 12 gear line. So I need to alter this just slightly, make it a little bit bigger. At most, that'd probably be an 8. So if that's going to be an 8, then let's go ahead and let's try... a 5. 5x3 has a little bit of a nice ring to it. Let's see if this is going to be big enough for the 12 gear. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That does hold it, but that looks like a snowflake. So I'm actually going to change this again. I want to get every single detail just right. When it comes to making a BeyBlade, there is no word short of the word perfection. You either do it right or you don't do it at all. And if you do it wrong, you improve yourself. So I need to make this as round as possible. One, 2, 3, 4. Taking a little bit of a good shape now. Now let's try spacing these out inside. Oh yeah, I forgot. I am sorry. I'm gonna work the bugs out the more I go in here. Always stay. There we go. That's better. Now we can see what it is we're doing. This isn't the olden days. I don't need night vision potions, all right? It still feels a tad weird, but I'm sure I can make this work somehow. Let's be honest, nobody's really going to see the inside, so I don't need to fill all of it. But I do need to build it up enough that you get the general idea. Okay, this is going to take me a little bit getting used to controls. Okay, give me a moment. I think what I'm actually going to do here is I'm just going to say what I'm going to do, and then I'm just going to build it off screen. That way it goes by a whole lot faster. And I'm not really wasting anybody's time with some dumb video that they're not really getting, you know, what it is they actually wanted to see. So I got the basic mold for the driver, but now I got to build it up a tad because it actually curves outward with the gear system. And you can actually see that with the driver itself. So I need to build this out just slightly. And then we will have the bottom piece of our driver. Alright. I know I said driver. There's 4 parts. Did I just say 4? What am I saying? There's 3 parts. I'm sorry. I was thinking about burst. I was thinking about burst, like BeyBlade Burst itself, not BeyBlade X. I'm sorry. There's the ratchet, there's the bit, and then there's the layer itself. I'm hoping I got those terms right. If not, you are fully allowed to chew me out in the comments, because I should know better at this point. I've been to tournaments. But anyways, right now we are building the bit, or aka the driver. This controls what the Bey does and how it moves. No, that's right. So now that we got the basic mold shape done, actually, yeah, that works. That actually works for me. I mean, it's not fully accurate, but it's still better than certain circumstances. No. I'm so used to using a controller. You know what? That's it. Give me this. Please tell me this is compatible. Yes, it is. That's beautiful. Now I can do this much faster. I'm not using a sloppy keyboard. This is literally what I would do in my spare time when I was younger. I would get on Minecraft and I would just build. I was really good at building. A lot of other people, they spent their days in PvP, like BeyBlade, rest his soul, Dream, all these other people. Some spent their time making videos or enjoying it. No, not me. I spent my days building. This is literally what I would do with my spare time. And I was really good at it too. Alright, so now we got that. And now we have to bring it out and up simultaneously. Because there's another circle that goes around this one. And then it goes just slightly down, surrounding the driver. And on second thought, I don't even have to do that, because actually, I think I made this portion just a little bit too big, if I'm being honest. Yeah, just a little bit. So I'm actually going to use what I already have instead of deleting it. Why destroy when you can save what you already have? And let's just go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and build around this. Okay, so I have the bottom part done now. However, I do not have anything flat enough to use on the underside, so I'm actually improvising a little bit here. I mean, no one's really going to see this, so I'm not really... I mean, you can kind of see it. I would have preferred one that actually matches the color and texture, but I cannot control everything. A little something to notice with the driver. It goes out just a little bit, and then it comes just slightly down. It's so small, you honestly don't really even see it that much. But there we go. Now we got the bit, the driver, the moving force underneath the actual BeyBlade for Dran's sword. And then this whole part, we're just going to go ahead and fill it back in here. But I am going to keep these parts here so that I can actually calculate how far the center is. Because I need this to be completely balanced. 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. That should be the middle. Bingo! Perfectly center. There is no better way to go about doing that. Now, we go to the second portion. So I'm going to need clear... That's actually going to be a little bit tricky. Okay. So one portion overlaps here, but then the other one does not. It actually sinks inward. How many teeth get hung up on that one? I'd say about 4 in total. So, if I count the edges here... Boring calculations nobody needs to know about but me. Just gonna put that out there. Oh, nope, actually 3. Okay. So, all the way to there. And that'll equal the starting point for the mold here. I know it doesn't look like a BeyBlade yet, but we are getting somewhere. We are. So now I have to make the second area sink inward, and then I gotta bring it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, so on closer inspection, I noticed something interesting. There's a little part for the bit or the driver. And see this little section right here? These little grooves inside? You can actually see that through this middle layer as it's actually attached in there. And I couldn't really see that at first. But you can actually see those through the plastic frame, and there's 8 of these little sections here. And then that's hung on by 2 little white teeth. One on both sides. And they coincidentally line up here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on both sides here. I want this to be as detailed as possible. So I want to get every last section that I possibly can. It's weird seeing all the animals around here. They're like, oh, what are they building? Hey, can I trade with you? You want some blocks? I don't need your crappy deals. Get out of here, you mischief maker. Okay, so I need to build this up to 3 so that it matches that. And there's also an additional white frame. Solid white, not clear. I can see it in there clear as day. Looks kind of like a circle surrounded by 2 backwards trapezoids all lined up together. We're going to build this up. That gives us part of the bottom for this area. Kind of taking shape, but still have a lot more to do here. Okay, I need to see inside this, so... Okay, so I don't got to worry about that white section for a while, nor do I got to worry about the screws just yet. But I do need to get this part right, so it extends out just a little bit, and then it goes up a tad more. So this needs to actually double in this section on both sides, and that will create the actual in-depth feel that I am seeing here. Shut up! I know you're down there. That section goes inward, but not by much, just by 1. Is that right? Is that really how it looks on the inside? That is so strange. There's just an itty-bitty bit of space between the actual driver and the middle layer. Bit, ratchet, it don't matter the terminology. It's the same terms, just different wordings, same meaning. Alright, then that comes up. It actually goes up and curves outward, but I'm not going to be able to do that with how big I made it here. If I was doing something maybe twice the scale, then I probably could have done that. But it's so small, you honestly don't even see it. It's very, very small. And then eventually the top section here will line up with the actual outside. And that gives it its unique shape and raises the height just a little bit. And then that portion at the very top of that. Does that line up with the teeth inside, or? Let's see, middle. No, it just barely sits above it. So this section matches up with the one on the outside. So go to the edge, add 2 more, plus the space, that'll make 3. You really got to be careful when you're making circles in Minecraft, because if you do just one little step wrong, you might as well start over. It is a painful procedure and process, and you do not want to get a single thing wrong. Right, I had to go in depth, so that actually becomes 3, not 2. You really gotta watch what you're doing. In my case, though, I should be fine. I'm a professional. I've done this before. Do not be afraid. Mada! I'm kidding. Okay, so 2. And then we add 1, and then the rest of this gets filled in behind it. I can see that working. Okay. 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Yeah, that works. Two, 2, 1, 2, 2. There we go. So 2. I misclicked. It's okay, man. Mistakes happen. They happen all the time. I could just see the fan base right now. Oh my gosh, look at this noob. He just put that in the wrong spot. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for pointing out my flaws. How about you point out your own? I'm kidding. Okay, that kind of gives off the feel. A little bit. It's starting to take a nice little shape. Now I need to add the white section on top. Actually, no. No, I got to bring this up first. Okay, I got to bring this up a layer and then extend it even more. And that'll create the actual frame for the ratchet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Behind the scenes building. I know, it sucks. But it's got to be done. Okay, so that step is done. We now got the bottom section for the middle layer all laid out, all built. Now I need to add in the details just to make it pop a tad more. So it looks like there's little grooves along here, approximating in 3, but not going all the way to the edges here. So that tells me it would look something tad more like that. Truth be told. Actually, no, it doesn't extend. It just goes out and up. So I can just go ahead and delete that one. It's so small, you honestly don't even notice it at all. Yeah, that works. That gives it a nice little feel. Okay, now I just got to bring it down one more time. because there is a small layer of plastic that goes all the way around here at the bottom, just like a small ring. Same thing they did with the driver. My guess was they did that for durability purposes, to try to make the parts last a little bit longer. Definitely a smart move. Sadly, this would be better off done with slabs of glass, and I do not have slabs of clear glass. That would be nice if I had that. It'd be even nicer if Mojang would just add that, but we do not have that, so I'm going to be grateful with what I have and work with what I've got. Alright, now I need to add in the middle section here, and that sits just above that area. So let's just take this apart real quick. I see. Based on distance, that goes all the way to the edge, and just like I said, it's basically like a ring, a circle, with two trapezoids turned inward, except they are curved. And then there's two screws on there. So, based on the design... Wait, how far does that go? Okay, well, first of all, I need to fill this whole section in, so just give me a moment. Okay, so that's done now. I didn't realize it at first, but it actually goes all the way underneath here. And then this whole section sits right on top of that. So it sits just like that. But then it extends Actually, I'm off here. I'm off a little bit. I think. I don't have to get all the mechanism, but I do want to get as much as possible. So this part goes inward, that part actually goes out. I really hope I'm doing this right. If not, I'm deeply going to confuse myself here in the next few seconds. And that's not going to end well. Okay, the plastic goes up around it on the inside, so that I do have correct. But it doesn't go around every single section, so the part with the teeth, those ones actually stay clear. And then it just goes around the tooth. So something like that, actually. And then wherever the white clamp is, it stays on one side, but then it stays clear on the other. Two different plastics to make room for the mechanism that helps hold the driver or bits in place. And there's another section that opens up, but I'm not really worried about that part. Then the white comes out around it here, and then it goes up another layer. And that creates the basic ring shape that we see. So 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2. Okay, that's right. That's what I'm looking at here in person. That's what I'm trying to create here. And then it thickens up till it matches with these edges. So size-wise, this might be a little bit thicker than I honestly intended it to be. But this will create the basic ring shape that we see here. Yeah, I'm definitely off here. This definitely seems inaccurate. But I'm not going to get all this completely 100% accurate when remaking it in Minecraft. But you know what? That's okay. That's totally fine. I just need enough that it looks like it. And then I gotta do that all the way around. So, because nobody likes on-screen grinding, just give me a moment, please. Done! Okay, that step's out of the way now. Looking at it again, I still need to add the outer section that goes all the way to the edge. That's shaped like a trapezoid, but how far does it go? Based on these, I can assume there and there. And I'm going to guess that it goes like that. And then it curves around just a little bit, and that'll bring it right up to the edge. This is a lot of work. But you know what? It is worth it. This is going to look so beautiful when I am done. Yeah, that seems about right. Except that should be just a tad steeper. There we go. That's a lot better. That's much better. The ring is awful, but that seems about right. That seems fair. Fair in size and distance. Right. Steeper. There we go. That's better. So, all the way there. Then 2. Fully angled. Then we just build it all the way across. Leave no little gaps. This is why I choose the smooth quartz block, because this is honestly a lot cleaner. The original one was chiseled and... well, it wasn't really chiseled, but it had the line work at the edges, and it didn't really look as nice as it could have. Okay, so they used the triangular screws, but that's not really going to matter here. Yeah, geez, sorry. I don't know where that came from. So now we just got to match up with the center, which will be this section. And we just build it till we get to the center. About right there. Build that down, and... actually, no, I'm going to move that out just 1. What have I just done? It's okay. It was an easy fix. Breaking through the glass like an idiot. Go to 2. Add in another screw. And voila. Now for the tricky part. I need to start building it up around the actual layer. Whew, now it gets tougher. Okay, so on first inspection, the first one lines up with one of these screws. Hang on just a moment. I want to make sure I'm getting the right color. So I am actually off a tiny bit. I need a different color. I thought I had it all, but I was wrong. There we go. Let's just move the screws out of here, because I'm probably not going to need that block again, but I will be needing this one. Okay, so it touches one of the edges near where the screw is, and then it slowly wraps itself around. Okay. Got it. So it goes towards the left. So it comes out about here. But then it goes just slightly towards the left. So it's solid on top, but passable through the bottom. There's a small little air pocket right here. And actually, that should be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build this all the way around. Oh, so much building. Okay. That step is done now. Now we just got to line these up. Honestly, those parts actually look a little bit bigger, and based on what I'm seeing, it stretches out just a tad bit farther. So it looks like it actually goes right up to the edge of this ratchet. So it starts right about here where the screw is. I was off. I made it all the way out here. That was wrong. It starts about there. And here. They have these little contact points on these parts to try to increase chances of a bay bursting. But then they make them well enough that there's 2s, there's 1s, there's 3s, there's 5s. There were a few designs in Burst, I believe, that might have had 7. I could be mistaken on that. But there was definitely ones in BeyBlade X that have 9. So there's 980, there's 960, 360, 380, there's 580, 560, there's 2s, there's 1. Though I'm pretty sure they call 1 something else, actually. Now that I actually stop and think about it. That looks a tad off, actually. It should be a bit more nubbed. Like a little nub. I don't know how else to word it. It should literally look like a small nub. That does not look like a nub. That does... No. It's not a nub. That kinda looks like a nub. You know, I'm just gonna go with that for right now. I don't know how else to make that at this current time. I'll clean it up later. I'll clean it up later. Okay, there's 3 of them, so... The next 2 start on both sides of this, and they reach about the same distance. So let's just go ahead, pull that out. Words I never thought I would hear come out of my mouth. Let's make a nub in Minecraft. Where do we begin? Build a circle. And then build a small pointed part on that, but still keep it rounded. It's a square dimension. That is not a nub. That is a point. That is not a nub. That fixed the nub. There we go. I don't know what I'm doing. That's the big problem here. Okay, 3 and 2. So I'm going to make that on the exact same side and just pray it looks all right. Three, 2. Did that look like a nub? You know what? Close enough. The top stays solid. And then the inside gets just slightly chiseled out. Just enough to where a little bit of space is inside, but not too much. Yeah, so something like that. And then on closer inspection, there was a small arrow on one of these on one side. Based on the design work, I'm going to say this side. And then it goes inward just a hair, and it points toward the center. And I'm guessing they use that for measuring purposes to determine where it would line up in there. That or was for deciding the LR, but that doesn't matter. Okay, anyways. Now we gotta build it up even more. So this is where it gets a tad more complicated. There's parts with dark plastic, and then there's parts with metal. The parts with the dark plastic becomes a dark blue. In this section, I'm actually just going to start putting in a layer of dark blue behind it, because you can actually see through it, but it's not, you know, as see-through. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a whole layer of this around, just to try to keep the feel of what it is we're trying to make here. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine if we do that. This next portion is going to be very complex, so I do not want to make any mistakes here. I really don't. Alright, so we're going to start with this side, because that'll be the easiest one for me to measure. Basically, this lines up with the metal on the bottom side. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to go ahead and just put a big fat metal ring around this, and then we'll start giving it the shape of Sword Dran, because that'll probably be the best method I can go about here. Okay, so I got a basic circle built now, and thankfully it lined up exactly with all the little prongs we put here, all the little 3 contact points, so I don't have to change any of that. However, I still need to get the rest of the measurement correct here. So, upon examining Sword Dran, it's kind of like Valtryek when you look at it. It's a triple layer attack design. There's 3 major parts here that are used for contacting, and then when you look closer, it branches off into actually 6. So you got a big piece that has basically 2 blades on it, and that's how it does its amazing attack power. So I need to create a piece that measures it exactly, that goes into these points. So upon examination, it goes just slightly past the first one. So just a tad off to the left. I'm going to use black as a marker so I actually know what I'm doing here, because I do not want to get lost or confused here at all. And then when you look closer, it goes all the way to the next one. However, that is way too long of a blade. Which means this is not as round as I'd hoped it was. So I need to fix one of these, actually. This one has to go away. I wanted it to be detailed accurate. However, I also wanted it to be measurement accurate at the same time. And it seems I cannot do that in Minecraft fully. I got close, but this is making it just a little bit too tricky. So I need to put this one actually right about... yeah, about right here. So let's just go ahead and let's bring that down, and then let's just loop this around. And let's not forget that tiny little arrow that's in there. A tad off the measurement of the actual piece, but that will create a far more accurate blade design. Because it's not so far down there that it's just going to look weird. Actually, that still seems a tad too long. Might have to move that over just a little bit more. Let's put it to here. Let's see how it looks from there. I should be able to work with that. I hope. Okay, so now that we got that, goes over to the left just slightly. So I'm going to say about 2 blocks, give or take. That's about how far off it goes. And then it loops around, doubling up its thickness about halfway through, so I'd say about right here. That'll create the first blade, and then it steeply angles inward. No, this would go out a bit farther, wouldn't it? Yeah, something like that. And then it comes a little bit up afterward. And again, just shy of this one. 2 block spacer. And then it branches just a little bit upward. So something like, say, that. Except that's all metal. This is proving to be slightly trickier than I thought it was going to be. Actually, no, that goes on longer, doesn't it? Because it's the whole second part of the blade. Okay. So, actually, this part's right. That one I can ignore now. However, this part is actually all wrong. It goes over by a lot, and then it starts coming down. So actually, it looks more like that. And then it lines up just in time for the other section of the blade. So that would actually be one more. And now I got to do that all the way around. I'm building it all the way around, but I'm realizing I still do not have the basic sword shape. So I'm just going to keep at this until I get the basic sword design work, and then I'm going to take it from there. Because this is actually very confusing. I definitely got something wrong in here. So anyways, please just stay tuned. I will be right back, and I will hopefully have this fixed by then. Please be patient. Alright, so I checked the time, and I've actually been sitting here for almost 2 hours, and the video recording, thanks to OBS Studio that I used to record with, is actually just shy of an hour. So I'm sorry for taking so long. I did not realize I took so much time out of this. It's just, I wanted to get it done. I really wanted to get all this done in one video. But I'm gonna have no choice here. I'm gonna have to break it off into 2 parts. And that really breaks my heart, because I really wanted to get all this done right here and right now. I mean, we got the ratchet done. We got the driver done. Now we just got to get the layer, but the layer is the biggest part of the whole thing, so that's definitely proving difficult. And I kept looking at this bay, trying to understand it more and more. Did you know there's actually 5 gaps in this layer? No, I'm serious. I was looking through the layer trying to understand it, and I, lo and behold, found out there's only 5 holes in this bay, not including the gaps you actually use for the launcher. So there's one here, another one there, there's one right here, and then there's 2 over here. There should have been a 6th one right there, but there isn't, because that's where they put one of the little points that connects the metal to the plastic. And I found that really fascinating. But sadly, I'm going to have to end this right here, because I do not like making my videos more than an hour, because everybody's living their lives. They all got stuff they want to do or need to do, things that they want to get done. And let's be honest, not everybody's going to want to sit down and watch an hour-long video on YouTube. Or more. I mean, if it's your favorite person, I could see them doing that, but I do not really qualify as that for anybody. As far as I'm aware, I don't know anybody who would honestly sit through a 1-hour video that I've honestly made. It doesn't seem like something that they'd actually do. If they have, then good for you. Because I would not watch myself for an hour. That's just me. Anyways, I'm going to put a sign here so that I do not forget what it is I've done. And I'm going to come back to this in exactly 2 weeks. And we will pick up right where we left off as I'm building this layer. I would sit here and I would do all this right now, but I am behind on so many games that everybody's recommending I play, and I've been trying so hard to catch up. And there's all the other stuff I got to maintain in real life. You know, my normal life outside of gaming. And I need to maintain that. I need to keep the rhythm going. There's a lot more I need to do. So unfortunately, I have to stop right here. I'm wandering around like a fool because I'm dumb. Let's make that blue. And let's use that. Oh yeah, I should probably put a color sign, shouldn't I? What do you think? String light? Sea lantern? Yeah, let's go with sea lantern. Let's see. That point's there. So I'm actually going to put this sign right over here. And we're just going to make it a big fat blue. Cow, you stay away. You do not hop on my build. It doesn't gotta be pretty, it just has to do its job. Oh yeah, I gotta use my keyboard, don't I? Fine. Be like that. Then let's dye it. And give it a light. Just because I can. And then I guess I could put another sign saying who it belongs to. So, whoops. Blader X. And just so I'm getting all the details here. Sorry, I had to look it up real quick. I wanted to get all this right. So, Jackson Cross. I just got a message on my phone, so I'll look at that here in a moment. Jackson Cross, a.k.a. Blader X. Oddly enough, he goes by a different name in Japan. Sadly, it's one I cannot pronounce. But I'm going to end this right here. And we will pick this up next time. I mean, this is looking great so far. It actually does look like the bottom side of a BeyBlade. So I've definitely done a really good job here. However, there's still a whole lot more to do. So we're going to pick this up next time. I thought I was doing great. I thought I was. I mean, I am doing great. It looks awesome so far. But there's still a lot more that I need to do, and I just do not have enough time to do it all, unfortunately. So, I'm going to see you all back here in 2 weeks, and hopefully in that next video, this bay will be done. I wanted to try to do one bay a video, but this is proving a tad more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I've done this before, but not at this kind of a scale. This is much bigger than the one I did before. One I did before was hollow and simple. This one has a whole lot of layering inside, so it's taken me a lot longer. I did not think that would even happen. But anyways, subscribe to see this in 2 weeks, and while you're at it, go ahead and put in a whole bunch of comments for what other types of bays you want to see me make. I'll look at some of them when I get the chance. If I can, I'll start on one. Or we can just go straight to Dagger Dran after this, and then Buster Dran after that, and then just keep working our way down the roster until we build all of X. And I'm not even going to limit myself to that. I actually prefer building the burst ones. So I don't care if it's burst, I don't care if it's metal fusion, I don't care if it's BeyBlade X, I don't care if it's the old generations. Or even like a micro BeyBlade. If you got one of those, I'd love to try to make one of those. That'd be fun. Because I am enjoying this. So anyways, hit that subscribe button so you can see part 2. And hopefully we will finish this all by then. So anyways, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked the video, although incomplete, I am so sorry. Please give it a like. And if you deeply want to see this finished in the next 2 weeks, then please subscribe. Because I really want to finish this more than anything else I've done so far. I am having a lot of fun with this one. It's given me room to think, and that actually makes me really happy inside. And like always, this is Menace Snowdecker signing off, and I will see you next time when we finish this. Because I am gonna finish this. So, bye-bye. Have a great day, everybody. Don't forget to smile, because remember, a smile a day goes a long way. And I hope to see you all back here again soon. And one more thing before you go. Can you please check out the links in the description and join the Discord server as well? Sorry, my brain's tired now. I've been sitting in a chair for 2 hours. Recommend more games for me to play. And while you're at it, please recommend more BeyBlades for me to make. The more, the better. Maybe we'll build them all in here someday. Who knows? But for now, we're going to start here. So anyways, subscribe! And I will see you all back here again next time. Bye! Please stay tuned for part 2.